Imagine buying a $200 phone in 2024 and it can do something as basic as screen recording. The Samsung Galaxy A16 5G is the latest addition to their A1 series, and while it has some upgrades from its predecessor, the A15 5G, honestly speaking, I don't want to use the word disappointing, but hey, in this video, I will take you along with me to explore this device to find out if it is a worthy upgrade or not. So let's get right to it. The A16 5G comes in light green, gold, light gray, and blue black, which is this color I have here. I am using the base model, the 4GB RAM, 128GB storage option for this review, which I got for 280,000 Naira. So you see why I'm already upset, because honestly, this phone is not that cheap. It comes in the usual minimalist white box with just a SIM ejector, Type-C charging cable, and the user guide inside. The design of this phone is pretty simple with a vertical triple camera setup. The back is made of plastic with a smooth and glossy finish that retains fingerprint smudges, which we've all agreed is very annoying, but that is something a phone cover can easily resolve if you are a phone cover type of person. The phone has a flat frame, rounded corners, and it feels easy and comfortable to hold. There is a bulge at the right side edge that features the volume rocker and the power key that also serves as a fingerprint scanner. At the top of the phone is a secondary microphone, while we have the main microphone, a USB-C port, and a speaker grill at the bottom. The SIM slot is placed at the right side of the phone, and it also has a space for SD card for storage expansion. When it comes to durability, this phone promises IP54 rated dust and water resistance. So there is some level of protection from limited dust ingress and water splash from any direction, which is of course a plus. The overall build quality is just there. It definitely feels cheap, and the water drop notch didn't help at all, but notwithstanding, it does feel sturdy. It has a 6.7-inch Super AMOLED water drop display that supports Full HD Plus resolution, a 90Hz refresh rate screen, and 800 nits peak brightness, which is bright enough for outdoor use. So with a 1080p resolution and a pixel density of 385 ppi, the visuals we get on this phone are reasonably sharp and vibrant, which in turn offers good viewing experience, with a smooth refresh rate that makes scrolling social media and even playing games feel fluid. When it comes to the audio of this phone, since it lacks stereo speakers, you shouldn't expect nothing more or exceptional. The single down-firing speaker lacks depth in music playback. However, it sounds decent for casual listening or speakerphone use. For whatever reasons best known to them, Samsung decided to skip the 3.5mm headphone jack, which might be a deal breaker for some people who still rely on wired headphones. On the software side, it runs on Android 14 with Samsung's One UI 6.1, and as we already know, One UI is clean, intuitive, and has some customization options like the split screen for seamless multitasking, one-handed mode for easy operation with one hand. Also, under the display settings, you can enable edge panels to activate the sidebar, which you can further customize for easy navigation. The biggest shock about this phone is the confirmed up to 6 major Android OS updates. Guys, this level of software support is unheard of in phones within this price range. But then, with 4GB RAM, I have mixed feelings about how well this phone will perform after maybe 2 to 3 major OS updates. So, whatever you are doing, make sure you are going for either the 6GB or the 8GB RAM option if you want to fully enjoy the 6-year software offer, which in turn means spending more on this phone when you can actually use the same amount to get another phone with better performance and features. But then, 6 years of major software upgrades is not child's play, so you have to think really hard on this one. The Galaxy A16 5G comes in 2 chipset options. From the information I got while doing some research on this phone, there are only 2 chipset options publicized for this phone. Depending on your region, you can either have this phone with the Exynos 1330 chipset or have it with the MediaTek Dimensity 6300 chipset. But then when I tried getting the exact chipset that my own A16 5G has, there was no information or whatsoever regarding that under the About phone in the settings. So I resorted to using a third-party app to get more information about this phone. Actually, I used two apps, and to my greatest shock, on the processor of those two apps, I am seeing MediaTek MT6835, which is the same thing as MediaTek Dimensity 6100 Plus, which in turn is the same chipset we had on the Galaxy A15 5G. Like, I don't get it. The whole thing is really confusing, and I will appreciate it if someone could explain to me why the Samsung Galaxy A16 5G shipped to us here has a different chipset from the rest of the world. Moving on. It has an octa-core CPU with a mix of high-performance cores at 2.4 GHz and power-efficient cores at 2.0 GHz. So it handles multitasking decently well. Day-to-day tasks like browsing, social media, and light gaming are handled without much trouble. However, when this phone is used for more demanding games, I notice some stuttering and lag. Of course, it's not going to handle high graphic intensive games at max, so this brings us back to the importance of higher RAM. For you to enjoy playing more demanding games on this phone to a higher extent, the 8GB RAM option is of utmost importance. When comparing the performance of this Galaxy A16 5G to that of its predecessor Galaxy A15 5G, using the benchmark scores as seen on Nano Reviews, the Geekbench 6 scored the Galaxy A15 5G single core 664, while the Galaxy A16 5G scores 992. For the multi-core, Geekbench 6 scored the Galaxy A15 5G 1717, while the Galaxy A16 5G scores 2197. On the Antutu Benchmark 10, the Galaxy A15 5G scored 382,635, while Galaxy A16 5G scores 445,399, which is 14% increase in performance. Please note that the benchmark scores mentioned here are based off Galaxy A16 5G with the MediaTek Dimensity 6300 chipset. The 5000 mAh battery can comfortably last you a full day with moderate use. The 25 watts fast charging is reasonably quick, taking you a little over an hour to fully charge the phone. The camera system on the A16 5G is basic, but it does get the job done. The 50 megapixel main camera captures decent photos in daylight with good details and natural colors. However, the dynamic range is limited and the processing can come off a bit too aggressive. As far as video recording is concerned, it is capped at 1080p 30 frames per second. The portrait mode offers a slider to adjust the level of background blur. The 5 megapixel ultra-wide camera sample lacks detail, and then the 2 megapixel macro camera is just as useless as it gets. The 13 megapixel selfie camera takes acceptable photos, but don't expect anything extraordinary. It also supports 1080p 30 frames per second video recording. In conclusion, while the Samsung Galaxy A16 5G has a few downsides like a basic, somewhat cheap-looking design, the lack of headphone jack, which is still common in this price range of phones, a low RAM of 4GB as the base model, and no built-in screen recording feature, I think it still remains a decent budget option, at least for its Super AMOLED display, reliable cameras, 5G connectivity, and strong battery life. Plus, Samsung's commitment to providing 6 years of major software updates makes it a compelling choice for anyone looking for a budget-friendly smartphone they can depend on for a long time. Thanks for watching, and if you found this review helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more tech reviews. See you in the next one.